Namaskar. Welcome to this program where we are going to be talking about something that is happening for the first time. And when something happens for the first time, it has its excitement, it has its charm, it has its novelty. And we want to know more about how it has happened. So first of all, let me tell you, I'm talking about the launch of first ever Summer Hindu Studies program by Rutgers University. And to talk about it, I have the pleasure of the company of Professor D. Michael Shafer and Professor Pankaj Jain. Hindu Studies program, how this idea came about, why, Professor Shafer, you felt that there should be something of this nature in Rutgers University?
Well, like most things, I think, of any size, this was really just an act of friendship. It began actually out of a conversation between myself and my friend Himanshu Shukla. Many of your viewers may know Himanshu from his work with Dot Busters and a variety of other Indian American and Hindu organizations in the tri-state area. But he and I were talking about how tremendously important the Indian American community has become in the tri-state area. And he observed that it was odd that despite the tremendous size of the community, that there was no place to go to get a good, broad-based education in Hinduism in its fullest sense. And I was very surprised by this, but he pointed out that all of the universities, not only just here in this area, but pretty much around the world, if you think about England, the United States, and so on, they have Hindu philosophy maybe, or they, individual courses, but nobody has anything that's really the whole package. And I said, well, what about doing it at Rutgers? And he said, well, we've asked, but there's never been any response. And I happen to be someone who knows a lot of people at Rutgers. And I said, Himanshu, we have to do this. And we actually approached the vice president who is in charge of the Rutgers summer session. And he instantly recognized the importance of this program. And we then took it to the Department of Religion, which instantly recognized the importance of this program. And so today we are literally only weeks away from the start of the first ever Rutgers Summer Session program in Hindu Studies, which will have a total of 6 courses covering the entirety of the Hindu tradition, philosophy, religion, the whole bit.
Wow, that's really interesting to know how things happen and how they are set in motion. And when things start happening, Professor Pankaj, you were also a part of the team that is looking at the details of the courses that are being offered. You want to share with us in 6 weeks' time how you have divided such a vast subject so that people have some proper knowledge about it?
Sure, yeah. What we have taken is, as Professor Shafer was describing, what we have done is we have divided the entire tradition into 6 different courses. Out of 6, 4 are credit courses, like Hinduism and modernity, Hindu narrative traditions, Hindu rituals and festivals, and Hindu philosophy. And other 2 are non-credit courses. So those are yoga and meditation and Indian classical dances. So those 2 are more practical oriented courses in which people can really practice yoga and learn dances by doing dances. But other 4 courses are theoretical courses, and those are where we are trying to cover as much as possible in a very short time. So for example, my own course, I'll be teaching Hinduism and modernity. So when we say modernity, usually we try to think of Hinduism as a very traditional kind of a very old-fashioned kind of a religion. What it has to offer to modernity, or how modernity interacts with Hinduism. In that I want to cover modernity when we talk about issues such as ecology, issues such as feminism, issues such as secularism, issues such as stem cell research. How Hinduism has to offer, what is the Hindu view of these latest modern concepts that we are hearing every day in the media. So how does Hinduism interacts with all these things?
Going in this sequence, I'm just thinking that there could be another angle about Hinduism and democracy, because Ganapati is worshipped and Ganatantra is the root of republic.
Right. Yeah.
So there are so many things. But going back to Professor Shafer, do you think the 6-week time span that we have of the summer course is adequate for such a vast subject?
Of course not. Come, this is a religious tradition that is 5,000 years old. I don't think we can fit 1,000 years every week and then have time for exams. We're not going there. But look, we have to recognize that our students lead extremely busy lives, whether they are advanced high school students who want this to prepare to go to college, they're college students who probably have summer jobs or interns, or they're the parents of those students who want the opportunity really to either refresh their own knowledge, perhaps to prepare themselves to be able to teach at Temple. All of these people have lives. And so we wanted to be able to provide an intense, focused, full-time experience so that people coming to this program, sure, they could come for one course, for another course, but we also wanted to provide an intense, all-embracing 6-week program that would be, as one of my friends says, the whole package.
Talking about the whole package, back to you, Pankaj, who do you think should take advantage of this whole package? Is your sort of imagination about the possible type of students that would take advantage?
Yeah, sure. See, summer is a time when high school students have a lot of free time. So a lot of times people either just take a part-time job or like just have some fun, some vacations. That's one way of spending summer. But this is, I think, where we are offering them to prepare for their career as they start their college studies soon. So if they take these courses, each course is 3 credits, and they can take these credits and they can transfer to wherever they are going for their bachelor studies. So every credit is transferable to any university in North America. So the high school students are very much eligible. Even the parents of high school students are welcome to join and see firsthand how in academic setting, how these courses are taught. In addition, I'm also teaching Sanskrit, again for the first time in Rutgers in summer, that I'll be teaching from May 29th to all the way to August 15th. So in 2.5 months, I'm covering entire 2 semesters of Sanskrit in 6 weeks. So that's another way of, see, foreign language study also is a very common trend in America, especially in summer times when you can immerse into a language. Then what better way to do than to learn Sanskrit, which is our ancient classical language, very much connected to Hindu tradition and Jain tradition, Buddhism. All our ancient traditions of India are very much connected to Sanskrit. So all this, as he said, the full package includes Sanskrit and these 6 courses. Then we have the other course that I'm teaching, Hindu rituals, festivals, and symbols. So many times, especially the people who are born and brought up here, they're doing rituals, they're going to temples, but they don't really understand what's going on behind the scenes. Why this swastik, why the Om symbol, why Diwali, what's the academic or intellectual significance of those festivals, rituals, and other things. So we'll take a journey back to all the rituals, festivals, symbols, and try to explain the intellectual significance of each ritual, festival like Diwali and history of all those.
Very nice. Professor Shafer?
You raised, I think, an interesting point when you mentioned the Hindu relationship to democracy. And I think that too raises an important aspect of this program. Because as Pankaj just said, many of our students are young people who probably at home in India would have had all of this just part and parcel of their daily growing up. It's that they're here in America and are adapting to being American. So they're in that in-between. They really need this education to be better rooted in their Indian and Hindu identities. They also need this to better be able to explain themselves to Americans. Because let's face it, India is the largest democracy in the world. It's a major strategic player in the world. It's one of the most rapidly growing and important economies in the world. And here where we sit in the tri-state area, the Indian American population is the most rapidly growing population of all. Americans need to understand Hinduism. And who better to teach Americans than these young Indian Americans who we imagine as being our students?
That's a very important point, and it's really commendable. But you know, there's always this side where you say devil's advocate. So Hinduism, they always say, is a way of life, and many people will have their own apprehension about any 6-week course doing some kind of a justice to understanding of Hinduism. How do you deal with this, Pankaj?
Yeah, this is a challenge definitely. So this will hopefully be a window to entire study of Hindu traditions. This 6 weeks is just introducing you to the major concepts, let's say modernity, as I said, so ecological issues and how Hinduism can deal with ecology, and how what Hinduism has to offer, or Indian traditions in general have to offer to the problem that we hear every time in the media is global warming. So that will be just a window or just an introduction to all these issues. But of course, one can continue to study further and further. One can pick a topic and one can study much more in deep if interest is there. But yeah, this is just a window to the entire tradition.
Yeah, actually we are just passing through this phase, this time period when everybody have the unfortunate event that took place in Virginia Tech. Professor Shafer, I want you to address how one can come to terms with these kind of happenings with the help of religion or with the help of faith, be it any faith, especially talking in the university environment.
That's a tremendously difficult question. The day after the Virginia Tech shooting, I actually took the opportunity to stop my regular class teaching, which really seemed somehow inappropriate, and to ask my students how they were responding, how they felt. And the common response from them was that what was most frightening to them about it was that it could have happened at Rutgers, that they could imagine the classrooms. The classrooms must have looked like their classrooms.
Right.
These young people looked exactly like their friends, looked exactly like them. And it was this sense that death, as horrible as this, was a possibility in their lives, at a time in their lives when they're thinking, oh, only about the future. They think they're immortal. They think that I'm at college. Everything should be perfect. And while I think there's a tremendous tragedy there, I also think that there's a tremendously important lesson for these young people about, if you will, the contingency of life. And that is something I think that the teaching of that lies at the heart of all of the great religions. This reminder that the world that we live in today is a passing thing, and that it is essential as we live our lives here that we always remember that our present lives are part of a much larger and much longer universal experience, to think of a way of putting this that embraces other religions, and that we need to pay attention to that. And it's something that young people can very easily forget. And I think that one of the great things about this summer program, again, recognizing the limits of the 6 weeks, is to help locate young people in a greater tradition, to, as Pankaj said, give them the real grounding in what it means to be properly Hindu. Not just to go to temple, to do this, to do that, but to really understand why we do this, what it means to say that. It's that living understanding that is what we're hoping for. And you can't teach that in 6 weeks.
Right.
But many would say you can't teach that in a lifetime
that is
either.
true.
So.
Nobody learns it. That is true. I would just touch upon this Virginia Tech tragedy, or accident, whatever. I think one of the messages that we get as a human being from it is that we should try and see that nobody is left isolated. We should try to be connected with people, and those who are very much within themselves, this is the warmth of love or soulfulness, whatever you call it, may bring out that which is human in them, and there wouldn't be something lurking in them which would come out in this form. At least we can make an attempt. And these kind of courses, be it on Hinduism or whatever, they also help in developing a sort of a sense of community.
Mutual understanding.
Yes. So you feel connected. But Pankaj, I want to ask you, there is one thing to learn some thing about a religion academically, and another to practice it. So how do you see the two sides? They are far apart, or there is some rhythm between these two?
ऐसा होता है कि जब हम मंदिर में जाते हैं और पूजा में पाठ करते हैं, मेडिटेशन करते हैं या किसी तरह की भक्ति करते हैं, तो वो एक तरीका है, रिलीजन को प्रैक्टिस कर रहे हैं हम, वी आर पार्ट ऑफ द रिलीजन. लेकिन जब हम उसके अंदर पूरी तरह से इमर्स्ड हैं, तब हम ये हो सकता है कि इंटेलेक्चुअल साइड जो है उसकी वो इग्नोर हो जाए. मतलब मैं एक रिलीजन का पार्ट हूँ, लेकिन अगर मैं उसको एक ऑब्जेक्टिव स्टडी करूँ, उससे थोड़ा सा दूर हट के देखूँ, मैं अपने आप के बारे में सोचूँ, मेरी आइडेंटिटी क्या है, मेरी हेरिटेज क्या है, मेरे जो ट्रेडिशंस में जो बुक्स हैं, स्क्रिप्चर्स हैं, उसमें क्या लिखा है, मेरे ग्रंथों में क्या, हमारे ग्रंथों में क्या लिखा है, और जो बाकी धर्मों के लोग हमारे धर्म को पढ़ते हैं वो किस तरह से पढ़ते हैं. तो क्या मुझे पढ़ना ज़रूरी नहीं है? जब बाकी लोग हज़ारों तो नहीं, कम से कम सैकड़ों सालों से यूरोप से लोग आते हैं, अमेरिका से लोग आते हैं और हमारे बारे में पढ़ते हैं, तो क्या हमारी ये रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी, ड्यूटी, प्रिविलेज नहीं है कि पहले हम खुद पढ़ें, ताकि हम अच्छी तरह से बाहर वालों को बता सकें कि हमारे ट्रेडिशन में क्या है. तो हमारा ये रोल यहाँ पे इम्पोर्टेंट हो जाता है कि हम जब इस कंट्री में ऑलरेडी हैं, और स्वामी विवेकानंद जब आए थे करीब 100 साल पहले, तो उन्होंने he was the first cultural ambassador of Hindu tradition or India to West, and here we are, hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people, I think 20 लाख लोग तो हम हैं ही इंडियन अमेरिकन या नॉर्थ अमेरिका में. तो हम माने या ना माने, हम सब कल्चरल एम्बेसडर्स हैं इंडिया के नॉर्थ अमेरिका में. हमसे आज नहीं तो कल, हमसे नहीं तो हमारे आने वाली पीढ़ियों से ये लोग सवाल करेंगे आपके ट्रेडिशन के बारे में. आप क्यों बिंदी लगाते हैं ऐसे, क्या है ये मंकी गॉड, ये मंकी गॉड क्या है, एलिफेंट गॉड क्या है, स्वस्तिक क्या है, इज इट सेम स्वस्तिक एज हिटलर स्वस्तिक. ये सब प्रश्न हमसे किए जाएंगे. अगर हमने एकेडमिक इंटेलेक्चुअल स्टडी, इन डेप्थ स्टडी नहीं की है और हमारे बच्चों को इंस्पायर नहीं किया है करने के लिए, तो ये आने वाली पीढ़ियाँ हमको कोसेंगी कि तुम लोग यहाँ के मूल थे, मतलब तुमने यहाँ पे आके बीज डाले हमारी परंपरा के अमेरिका में एज ए कल्चरल एम्बेसडर, लेकिन तुम्हें ही नहीं पता हमारी अपनी परंपराओं के बारे में, अपने धर्म के बारे में, तो तुम क्या किसी और को बताओगे? तो तुम खुद ही नहीं जानते. खाली मंदिर जाना, पूजा करना, आरती करना और घर पे आके कुछ और रिचुअल करना, उसके खिलाफ नहीं हूँ मैं खुद भी करता हूँ, लेकिन उसके साथ साथ उसका बौद्धिक समझ उसकी बहुत ज़रूरी है.
आपने ठीक वक्त पर कह दिया कि मैं उसके खिलाफ नहीं हूँ, बिकॉज मैं ये सोच रहा था कि जैसे आप कह रहे हैं कि खाली मंदिर जाना, खाली, उस तरह से वो जो मंदिर जाने वाले हैं उनको जो आनंद आता है वो कहेंगे कि खाली पढ़ा देना. तो दोनों के बीच हम जोड़ने की बात कर रहे हैं, तो दोनों की अपनी महत्व है. आई वांट टू कनेक्ट विद प्रोफेसर शेफर अगेन. दिस जस्ट मुंडेन एस्पेक्ट ऑफ थिंग्स दैट टेक प्लेस इन टर्म्स ऑफ people think about how much will I have to pay, that kind of idea, and whatever details they want to find out more about it.
Well, I think the very first thing that everybody should know is that they can go to our website. There's a very, very good website for the program. It's http://summer.rutgers.edu/HSP, short for Hindu Studies Program. I think it's appearing on your screen below my name. And when you go there, you will be able to click on the courses and read a short description of every one of the courses, see all the details about when they occur, where they meet, and so on. You will also be able to register online. You can register online, and we would very much encourage people to do so. All the information about the cost of the courses, as well as any additional fees, is there. And one thing people should know is that we are working very hard to be able to provide scholarships for people and so on. So we are doing everything in our power to make this program easily accessible. So please go to the website, take the opportunity to read about the courses, and if you just go to the Rutgers Summer Session site, that's the summer.rutgers.edu site, there are also telephone numbers there that you can call for basic information about the summer school.
Continuing with this sort of information, Pankaj, you have some standard books that you would be referring in this course to teach. Also, when this program is being seen, there must be some people who have many resources, or they feel that this is valuable. If somebody is trying to teach Hinduism, this is what I have in my home, and it is not out there in any university, but it is relevant. So, would you encourage these people to
Yeah, sure. Actually, in fact, if you have any suggestions, any resources for, especially for rituals, festivals, and symbols course, please email me. Maybe I should give my email: Pankaj-Jain, Pankaj-Jain at uiowa.edu. So please email me any suggestions, feedback. I would really welcome all your inputs. But for the other course, which is, I think, for the first time we are offering here, which is Hinduism and Modernity, there is no really standard book for that yet, because these issues are still evolving, like global warming, stem cell research, and all these issues are still evolving. And I have a collection of academic articles that I'll be asking my students to study, and then we will have live discussions in the classes. So
but just in this regard, I mean, what is very interesting is that this program has attracted a vast amount of attention in India. Literally hundreds of millions of Indians have read about this because Press Trust of India picked the story up, and it has been broadcast in Hindu Times and Hindustan Times and Times of India and so on and so forth. And I have received more emails and more letters than you can imagine from professors all over India who have sent me materials and have offered to assist in the teaching of the program. I mean, there is just this tremendous, it's more than interest. I mean, it's really a tremendous, I receive these thank yous from professors across India saying, we are so grateful that a major American university has chosen to do this. We will do anything we can to help you.
I would be probably going to the other side where you talk in a lighter way, but see, Indians are very emotional. So when cricket team goes out to play, they are all there, and when they come back, they are all there. So the same way, when such a course is starting, if you do not live up to the expectations in terms of not generate any additional controversy, it is good. If there is any such thing, then you will have more series of letters. I wish, pray, and I hope nothing of that sort happens. You get congratulations letters. So in order to ensure that, what is the way you are trying to maintain a sense of authenticity and standard?
Yeah, before that I would like to just add on what you were discussing, that पहली बार दुनिया की किसी भी सेक्युलर पब्लिक यूनिवर्सिटी में शायद ये पहली बार हो रहा है कि हिंदुइज्म के सारे एस्पेक्ट्स को हम कवर कर रहे हैं. तो वी रियली नीड all your suggestions, inputs, and support, and please spread the word about this program as much as we can. We want to do it every year, not just एक बार किया और चले गए. हम लोग को हर साल करना है, ताकि Rutgers को भी, Rutgers should be interested to do this every year. So please go to the website summer.rutgers.edu/HSP for Hindu Studies program, and please spread the word and let more and more students join these courses. We need at least 20 students in each course. So please spread the word. And then your question was, sorry?
No, my question was, how would you ensure that it is authentic what you're talking?
Yeah. No, we are definitely working on that, and we are consulting lots of scholars, lots of scholarly books, and support and suggestions from the community can make sure the program remains as authentic as possible. And at the same time, academic quality should be of the topmost quality. So we do it every year. Again, as I said, the quality should be excellent, and the
the time will not permit us to go further, but I would like to conclude by sharing the difference between academic and practicing people is that academically we cannot say that you should pray for the success of this program, but if you are a
please, you do.
you got the message, and there is a wonderful opportunity for all of us to learn and to support this kind of, I would say, a movement that should go far. I have the pleasure of being with Professor Pankaj Jain and Professor Michael Shafer talking about the first ever summer course on Hinduism at Rutgers University. This is Ashok Vyas thanking both these gentlemen and all of you for being with us.
Thank you, sir.
So I mix some Hindi and some Swami Vivekananda.